A lot of people fall for propaganda, especially when it's playing the tribal strings, the love for the land, the love for your country strings. It's very efficient. That's why it's so hated. One that was used in the 60s was our industry, our engineering, our space science based on quantum relativity and bending time and space. We are going to pierce the sky with we're going to pierce it with our technology, with our rockets. It's going to be such a powerful thrust that we've going to conquer the skies and land on the target, which was the moon. This this made people go crazy, crazy for for the overlords, the people in charge. The impossible was attainable. You could do anything. The young people in schools were so proud and so that they worked extra because they were at the top of the world. They work extra. Their imagination, and this is another thing, the imagination is captured, is focused in something, and you are going to do glorious things in your life. This sort of thing that's been used every time a country, you know, is getting out of a recession or depression, or it's an emerging economy, and they start preaching that they start preaching to the population using all means at their disposal to manifest, to conjure. I would say to conjure. It's a conjuration to conjure this from people, to conjure inside them this idea, this feeling that anything is possible and we will do it. So money investment is just going crazy from all over the place, and no doubt a lot of good things will, and also bad things will come out of this, not just good things. But then again, good and bad, you know, good and bad, and what's moral and what's not moral, often it doesn't really matter to these people. What they want is to succeed. So this is a very, very powerful methodology of bringing back life to the dead, shaking that dead man walking, shaking him again, and come back to this place, come back to this world, and let's make things happen. And well, the moon, space. It first started with space. The Soviets, they successfully put a man in space, right? Allegedly, because space doesn't exist. But anyway, according to the masters of magnetism, who gave us the world that we have today, the real world, not the imagination that you have about the world. The idea that you have about the world exists only in your head. This quantum, special relativity and binding particles, that exists only in your head, doesn't match the real world. They said there is no space. It has no properties, so there is no space. It's like the absence of something. But anyway, uh, the Soviets managed, with their propaganda, to put a man in space, and the Americans, they have to do something even bigger. They have to come up to conjure something even more majestic, more huge. So they landed on the moon like six times. It wasn't just one time; it was like six. And of course, then you have Stanley Kubrick, allegedly, helping them with the footage. Um, huge, huge, with the cinematic or the filming and the photographs, the proof, of this feat. Remember that this feat was highly, highly controlled by, government agencies. There was no independent media or independent anything scrutinizing the information. It was all controlled by the system. The early footage and images, of course, showed it was all tricked. The shadows didn't make any sense. You could see cropping. The fourth wall was breached. Yeah, so they had to destroy everything. They said, "Oh, we lost the technology, we lost the footage, we lost everything. Mysteriously gone into oblivion. Now you can't, do a proper investigation because we all know it's bullshit. It's all propaganda. Yeah, it was all propaganda. It was for the purpose of mind control, for the purpose of conjuring, similar to what the Germans did, you know, and the party that won, the Socialist Party that won, they conjure something from the population. They conjure their tribal ancestry. They conjured them, and anything was possible. And for the time, the economy turned around, and everybody was having a life, having a car, building roads. But it was temporary. It was all temporary. And the same way the Americans and the Russians did, they conjured these things from the masses to pinpoint their attention, to pinpoint their focus on an objective, right? Well, nowadays the official plan is to land on the moon. I'm sorry, Mars. It's no longer moon, it's Mars. They moved the goalpost. Even though we know they're just filming some desert somewhere. It's funny, I caught a glimpse of some on YouTube, one of these suggested videos. There's these machines allegedly roaming and filming the surface in Mars, and they encountered a structure that looks like wall, a square, so square uh, building and some walls and stuff. And yeah, there's some desert somewhere, filming this shit. They're not, there's no Mars, there's no moon. It only exists in your imagination, you know. And that's what they want to capture your imagination. I mean, I don't care. I couldn't care less, you know. But it's just interesting that even the biggest skeptics fall for it, because it plays their emotional strings. It plays their emotional strings like a melody, and they just can't let it go. Even the hardcore skeptics that see everything very critically, but when it concerns the moon or space travel, they just, I don't know, it has probably to do with their taste in science fiction, you know. And anyway, so I think that's all I wanted to say.